Hehe. Welcome back to my channel. Today, the scale of randomness is telling me to start a series. So here I am, starting a series called Villains 101. I've got a trailer and am working on my subtitles. The audio and speaking might be a little off, but I might fix it sometime later. It takes time to record the audio, and like I'm not that hard working to do another recording. Will though, just not now. Now, without any further ado, let's get into the text video.
Tyi and Fin arrived at the city center about half an hour later. The latter was half asleep on Tyi's shoulder. The building, hidden in plain sight amongst the other skyscrapers, wholly covered in illegally smuggled glass, stood tall like a mother hen surrounded by her chicks. "Oh, Fin. We're here. Get off me please." Tyi was being nicer than usual today. Maybe because it was getting close to promotion week and they had just come back from an intel mission to an army camp, which would have gone as Tyi had planned except for the part where Fin decided to screw up and snipe two dudes Tyi had hoped weren't the heads of the camp. At least they had gotten the intel. Tyi always tried to be negative, but at times, he forced the light into his world. One of the many lights he had permanently stuck in his world was Fin, who was still sound asleep on his shoulder. "Fin, now's not the time to sleep." Then Tyi had an idea. He pulled out his trusty Glock, which Fin always mercilessly bullied. Tyi wasn't happy with that, but what could a gun feel if it was being bullied? He shook some gunpowder out of his gun and put it under Fin's nose. "Fin, we're being attacked, get down." Fin was instantly awake and put his hands over his head. He shouted, "No shit Tyi. Where? Wait." He looked around and then looked at Tyi, furious. "Tyi, what the hell?" Tyi couldn't help but smile. He laughed hard. Tears started free falling down his cheeks and he tried so hard to keep them in, but they just couldn't stop. He kept laughing, clutching his stomach. He corked up into a ball of laughter on the car seat. Fin started to laugh too. Then it became inevitable and they both broke down into laughter. "Oh my god Tyiler, stop laughing. It hurts," Fin said, wheezing. He really did sound as if he were dying. The two boys continued to send sunshine and laughter at their driver, who in turn rolled up the divider and continued to drive. 3 minutes later of uncontrollable laughter, the divider rolled down again. The driver stared at the two boys, who were continuously affecting themselves over and over, doubling over again and again. The driver cleared his throat. "Sirs, black cat and white fox. Control yourselves. We're already here." Both boys snapped back into reality and stared at each other. Tyi was the first to look away. "Let's go, Fin." Tyi grabbed Fin's wrist and got out of the car, Fin in tow. "Thanks, Red Wolf." "Yeah, no problem. Be good, alright." The driver, Red Wolf, took out 2 briefcases from the trunk. "Right, Fin. Did you hear that? Don't screw up." Tyi took both and bowed a little, then glared at Fin but still handed him his briefcase. Yes. Fin grabbed it and Tyi's hand, pulling both into the 2 big glass doors. "Thank you, Mike." Red Wolf. Tyi heard the almost inaudible voice of their driver, Fin still pulling him along. Tyi groaned. Today was probably going to be a horrible day. Dart. They arrived at the mess hall for a little snack before proceeding to their organizer's office. Tyi could 100% ensure that the mess hall was Fin's favorite place. Tyi stood there, watching Fin fill his briefcase with 3 packets of mini choco cookies and reanimate popcorn bags. "You're a child, ain't ya, Fin?" Tyi sat down and popped open a bag of the slightly sweetened popcorn type bag, stuffing some into his mouth. "Want some?" That got Fin's attention and he flew over to Tyi, opening his mouth to reveal pearly whites. Ay. Fin wanted to be fed. "What are you? A chick?" "Yes. Now feed me." Tyi rolled his eyes and placed 1 popcorn onto Fin's tongue, pulling out his fingers to avoid getting bitten by the hungry other. "Don't try and bite me." Fin laughed and opened his mouth again. "Feed." he demanded. No. If I do then you'll bite me. Tyi rolled up the packet, stuffing it into the pocket of his slacks. Let's go. What? Tyiler. I wasn't finished with eating yet. Fin feigned horror and hurt. Tyi didn't heed his pleads and just walked on. The tapping of his shoes and his suit made him feel professional as he walked towards the organizer's office. Passing a couple of other people from different departments on the way, all of them either bowing or saluting him as he passed. He felt famous, or probably popular, but he knew that was not the case. Fin Sumin was the cause of all this attention. This pretty, fluffy hair matched his code name perfectly. Fin Sumin, the white fox. White hair and pretty dazzling but playful, sparkly eyes that Tyi would be forced to gaze into because Fin said he had liked the look of Tyi's black pupils and would stare at them at any given moment of free time. Tyi heard the tapping of Fin's shoes and turned to see his partner in crime running after him. Tyi. Wait. For me. Well, that just caught everyone's attention. Tyi wanted to curse but he played it cool. He stopped and stood there, waiting for Fin to catch up with him, just for the audience and his reputation. He plastered a smirk on his face and waited. He could see Fin slow down a little but still running. Hey, you don't have to run like that. Wasn't like I was going to enter the office without you. Tyi said, a little louder than needed but it did the trick. Or, really? Fin smiled and Tyi could hear the whisperings of the others. Tyi just nodded. Let's go in. He put his hand on the handle and pushed open the door, the man inside looking up from what he was doing. 3 other doors stood behind him. Ah yes, Tyiler Leris and Fin Sumin. He stood up and motioned them towards the door furthest to the right. In here. He knocked twice and let the boys in. Zhina, Tyiler and Fin are seeing you now. Yes. Send them in now. Thank you Riley. Zhina's voice was muffled but strong and powerful. Tyi and Fin entered the office. Fin was the first to speak up. Sir, I'm so sorry about my Smith. It's alright, Finsu. Fin nodded. Tyi took notes about Fin's brother's mood. He wasn't in the best mood. I also must apologize for our failure on the... It's alright Tyiler. You got the intel and that's all that matters. Zhina motioned both of them to take 2 chairs and place them about 2 meters away from his desk. Sit. I've got another task for you too. What's it about, Zhen? Fin asked, pulling his own chair a little too close to Zhina's desk. Fin, you're a little too close to my desk, Zhina said in a low tone. It's okay, right? I'm your baby brother, and Tyi's my little kitten. Fin pulled Tyi's head under his arm and ruffled Tyi's hair. I'm really sorry, Zhina, sir. Fin is a little. Tyi drew 3 circles with his index finger at the side of his head. He's crazy. I know that. Zhina exclaimed and shook his head, throwing his hands up into the air. Hey, stop agreeing with my partner Zhen. You're supposed to be on my... Alright, that's enough Fin. Tyi covered Fin's mouth with his hand. Zhina, please tell us about our next mission. And he did. Next destination, Tokyo City.